As ever with the launch of a new console, there's a ton of rumor and a ton of renders and fake news, big news, floating around. And there's been one the last sort of week or so that apparently is from a developer that shows the startup screen of the PS5. Now, this is my personal take on it, so don't sort of hate on me for it. But I'm not with the group of people that seem to believe that it's a fake. My feeling is that it's actually quite genuine. Now, I could be being taken completely for a ride, and of course I could be completely wrong. And again, this is just my own opinion, as a lot of these videos are, of course. But there's a few things, and there's one key thing that everyone seems to be missing, and that's the fact that I think we actually see the PS5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video to you. It's very short, just shows a startup screen. But what I want you to also do is look to the right of his desk, or her desk. I'm not sure if it's he or her, or them or it. Look to the right of their desk and you'll see something on the desk that looks suspiciously like a console. That, to me, I believe, possibly maybe, with a good sort of dose, pinch of salt and all that nonsense, it could possibly be the PS5. Take a look. So did you see it? You know, we had the whole startup screen, and I think that's pretty genuine. I know people are saying the logo's different, but I don't see that. And there's a lot of people that are saying it's all rendered, it's all special effects, it's all this, that, and the other. I actually think that's an awful lot of trouble to go to create a viral video that's just going to be up and about for a couple of weeks, maybe less. And I think, to me, it's more likely that somebody is a developer. It looks like a small development or a small area in a development studio. There's other people working. If you look to the end of that video and stop it at the very end, you see other people working. You actually see another person. And then when you actually watching the startup screen, and that to me seems very genuine, seems very realistic to me. It could be an amazing fake, of course, but there's so many other things that lead me to believe that this could be, you know, a small development studio for games. Maybe they're a company or a development company that works on parts of games for much larger companies. That happens an awful lot. But the key thing to me is that's on the right of his desk. We see this sort of slightly sort of PlayStation-esque black box with what seems like a smooth, glossy stripe on it. Sort of, I'd say stripe, but it's like a sort of two-tone effect at the top. And if you look at the design elements that we've seen in the PlayStation 4, the PS3, the PS2. We forget the PS1 because when it went to the PS2 there was a huge shift. We got these black slabs, didn't we? And then in the PS3 we got that sort of curved top, and that was, I think that's one of the most well-made consoles ever. In fact, my best mate is still using the PS3 that I originally bought when I was in Singapore, and it's still going strong. It's a beast. But here's the thing, if you look at, and then you look at the PS4, and it's kind of this slab, isn't it? With sort of sandwich slab. And then you look at this PS5, or possible PS5, this sort of black slab that's on his desk. We have that sort of curve that's going over. It looks slightly curved on the top. There looks like a two-tone effect, and it looks about the right size for a very high, a next-gen console. So I think, to me, with that being there and it being a development environment and that startup screen looking pretty legitimate, or either that or it's just an amazing fake, I think this is pretty genuine. And I think people are concentrating too much on, poo-pooing it and saying, oh, it's a fake, it can't be real, la, 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 and ignoring or completely not seeing the fact that there could be a PS5 on the right-hand side of his desk. What do you think? Do you think it's a fake? It could be a fake, as I've said. It's just my opinion, but I've looked at it several times, and I just think it's an awful lot of trouble to go to, and an awful lot of work to go to create a fake that could have been an awful lot better than it was. Maybe they wanted to make it seem a bit rough and ready, but there's too many aspects of the environment in which it's in, the hard work that that person would have had to have gone to create that. Whereas, usually the simplest answer usually is the correct one, and, the most obvious one, and that's the fact that it could actually just be genuine, and that is the startup screen or a version of it. And that's the PS5 on the right. A lot of people saying that, well, Sony are going on about that they want it to be a fast boot. Well, they've been that way for a while. And any PC, console or anything, when it first starts up from a cold start, when it properly starts up, it has to go through that process. It's not going to do that every time. What Sony mean by fast start is when it's in, sleep mode, and then you just maybe click a button on your DualShock, and it starts up immediately. I believe that's what Sony mean, and that's kind of what they meant in previous consoles, where it would start up relatively quickly. If you look at the Xbox One X, it does the same thing. If you restart it or start it completely from cold and it's been off, not in sleep mode, then it'll go through this long startup. So I believe that that's all that is. And that people saying, well, yeah, but it's, Sony is saying that it's going to be a super fast startup machine. Yeah, probably from sleep, that it will be pretty much instantaneous. But no machine. I've got a pretty beefy PC here on my right that's got SSDs, VME drives, M.2 drives, all those other drives that you can mention. Plus it's super, super quick. And that takes, 10 seconds, maybe a bit less to start up. So for a PlayStation 5 to take what we've seen in that startup screen to start up in that amount of time is not out of the question, certainly from cold. We're not seeing it start up from sleep. So anyway, that's my rant over. But I believe that it's possibly, maybe, could be genuine, and that we're actually seeing on the right-hand side of that video a PlayStation 5. What do you think? If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. If you've not subscribed, consider that too. And if you like these videos and want to know more of them, or have more of them, or receive more of them, don't forget to click the bell, because then that alerts you of when there are more videos. Thanks again for watching. If you heard a dog in the background, that's my mental neighbor who's got this pain in the ass dog. Help me, please. See you next time.